If this is your first time here, a data mining video is nothing new to this channel. But it's been a while since I made the last one, so why not make another one? But this time, we'll prefer quality over quantity. If you haven't seen already, I'm hosting a giveaway, so the link is in the description if you want to participate in that right before it closes. So, that was it for the BS. Let's get to the scrapped content, unreleased stuff. First, touching on everyone's favorite subject. This includes items that were in the game, but were left out for some reason. For this reason, I think it's one of the most interesting parts of looking into. Let's start off easy with all the archived enemies and weapons. As you can see, there might be an enemy or two that you might recognize. And these enemies were mostly removed because other replacements were made. If you're entirely sure you've seen these enemies in-game, it might be because you played during the Wild Shadow era. These enemies could be found between build 114 and 118. I'm not entirely sure what year we're talking about, but it's definitely 5+ years ago. But not to exclude the newer enemies, we also of course have the old sprites for the Lair of Draconis dragons, as well as a testing Pentaract tower and the old Decaract. We can't talk about archived items without mentioning the cursed amulets and what comes along. Old players will definitely notice this. Just by looking at these items, I'm tripping on memory lane. But if you consider things like the cursed amulet of resurrection, you kind of figure why it isn't in the game anymore. Quick and easy, the heroic Undead Lair incantation was scrapped, as well as the Nexus Crier, who shouted out news in the Nexus. Never forget the Tome of Illumination, which gives you invulnerability when held down. Minus 40 speed though, with a mana cost of 65 mana per second, it might be a last prism of RotMG. But it also creates an orb of light if you just press it once, which heals you. And it seems to be meant as an ST, which is, well, boring, because it might just end up in an ST box. This other and last item also seems to be acting the same way, but this one with a projectile, which is animated. You can go watch it in the link in the description to this RealMy page. I'm not sure what all these testing-like items are supposed to mean, but I hope they'll arrive sometime in the future, but as of now it seems to be that they're scrapped and we will never see them again. This also brings us to the next category, which is just, items you didn't know about. This includes the Ancient Doombow, which was meant to drop in the Heroic Undead Lair. A buffed Doombow with a rather interesting takeback of 5 seconds of dazed if you're dealt more than 50 damage. But on the other hand, your dexterity also increases. This is not the only ancient variant of a weapon. There's the Ancient D-Blade. If you've been on testing when these two dungeons were launched, you have tried these weapons, probably. To sum it up, they in general have better stats than the OG. So let's leave it at that, because we have a lot more items to cover. This next series of items will be sprited according to items already in the game, so just ignore the sprites. The Blade of Assailant is just a slower but stronger version of the Rei Katana. This is both a buffed and a nerfed version of the Sword of Colossus, with only 500 feet power. Comparing the Bounty Hunter's dagger to the Stinger is almost unfair. Lower damage and doesn't even ignore the defense. There's the slower but more effective Spirit Staff. There's the much less hurtful One of the Fallen, but with faster speed, penetrating ability, and full shots. We've already focused on the Seal of Divine Focus in a previous video. It just bases around mana. And last but not least, there's the Helm of the Immortal, which is a really tanky helmet. Plus HP and plus defense and plus berserk when you use it. Damn, you're allowed to release that one, Deca. Oh shit, almost forgot the Predator Bow. Well, compared to the Void Bow, it has, well, 5 shots. It hits for less, but it has a longer range. I would love it explained why these items appears on RealMy, but after all, it is a community-based site. Now, this is gonna get interesting, because I found some rather unusual items. You could consider these admin items, or used for testing. There's the Cursed Crown Teleporter, which teleports you straight to the Forgotten King. Then there's the Enemy Spawner, which just spawns enemies, I think. Then there's the Frost Construct Spawner, only for events. I'm not entirely sure why they made a particular item just to spawn this god, but the enemy spawner wasn't enough. I think the Gift of Krathen was spawned a bunch of times when Swartzek hacked the game. So it's basically like gift chests with boosted loot. Don't know why they don't have those anymore. And we also have the Godlands Teleporter with an inspiration from the sprite of the Striker Amulet, which, to explain, was an item that was supposed to use for a unique class. And fitting enough, the Striker Amulet also teleported you to somewhere, so of course a Godland Teleporter would have the same sprite, or at least one that looks alike. Then there's the Invince Me, which just makes you invisible for 24 hours. Wish you could have that in real life. Then there's the Lost Holes debug item, which is a test item that allows you to spawn any boss from the Lost Holes, just by writing a command into the chat. As you can see, it's not really relevant for us normal players. And those were only covering the ones that I could get access to on RotMG. I mean, I would have liked to see the skeleton key and the famed chicken, but I guess that's not today. But I did do something more for you guys, because I can't do a data mining video without actually going into the game files. And I would like to quickly appreciate Lil Cold for letting me in onto this. It's a program called Free Flash Decompiler. You can download with the link I have left in the description, and it allows you to post a Flash game into it, so you can check the game files through. And we found some, well, unused sprites that I would like to quickly go through. Please bear in mind, all these images are in the game files, especially when looking at these Christmas hats. And then there's this. I mean, majestic. Why don't we use this? It's even in the game files, so what? Oh well, you can comment your opinion on those, because I mean, I would have nothing against those being in the game. I think those on the right is projectiles and the sets on the left. There seems to be 2 for the archer at the top, a rogue right under, a knight, then some sort of either... To be honest, it looks like a Mercy's Bane, but it could be a rope. So it must be some kind of wizard or a sorcerer, and then below there's a trickster. There's these extended sprites that looks like dwarfs, maybe from the new dungeon or something. Here's a weird key / portal for the machine. Then there's pistols in RotMG, apparently. Here's some alternate sprites for you all. And this. The Oryx the Mad God 3 ability drop items. Well, that's at least what we think of them. I believe it's tier 7 and 8. They look sick, to be honest. They kind of have that simple design, but with new colors. I like that they're not going completely overboard with it, but just sticking with the original design of the helmets and seals. And I would love to see these introduced sometime. Here's some more alternate sprites for the cloaks. I think the other design looks sick, but I kind of got used to the, well, original. Here's the graves from the Battle of the Nexus. I just quickly wanted to honor the spriter because he did a good job. Here's an unused head for some kind of boss. It looks oddly similar to that Davy Jones boss robot head thing I covered in one of my earlier videos. That head is scrapped, by the way, along with the feral monster too. Oh damn, almost forgot one of my favorites. The realm closer. It just closes the realm. Well, easy to explain, but it's cool. Oh, while we're at it with the sprites, do you guys remember this version of the Shaitan? There's also the older Oryx the Mad God costumes. If you have seen him with a witch hat, you have to like the video. I feel like such a viner. Do you see all those items on screen? Because I don't. This was probably my easiest way to get game files, environments, and textures for myself and my videos. So I can recommend this, definitely. And guys, if you find something yourself in the game, just PM me on Discord and I will include it in a new video where your name will be called. So if you want something to spread to the community, just hit me up. Just don't post racist stuff. I'm tired of talking about red stars. But to finish this video off shortly, join my giveaway, please. There's like no people. You'll definitely win. And if you would like more data mining videos like these, either hit me up and help me up with the content, or I'll just, I don't know, look into something. You can post your ideas below, or just, yeah, hit me up. I have a little spare time, I guess. This was more fun to make than I remembered, because it was interesting. Well, no bonus outro for this one. Are you kidding me? Psych!
Mustard on my penis. Yo, I just want to